There are moments in life that feel impossible to explain. A song plays at the exact second you think of someone. A stranger says the words you needed to hear. A chance encounter changes your direction completely. We call them coincidences, but Carl Jung called them synchronicities, meaningful patterns that connect the inner and outer world through something beyond reason. He believed the psyche is not trapped inside the skull. It extends like light into what he called the unconscious field, a vast invisible network linking thought, matter, and meaning. You don't live in the universe, you participate with it, and sometimes it speaks back. Synchronicity appears when the boundary between self and world thins, when your inner frequency aligns with outer circumstance. It's not magic, it's resonance. Jung said the psyche and matter are two different aspects of one and the same thing. In other words, the world mirrors the state of your unconscious. When you are lost inside confusion, the world feels random. But when you begin to awaken, the world begins to organize itself around your growth. It starts whispering through symbols, timing, patterns. It's as if the universe itself becomes your therapist. This is not a belief, it's an observation of experience. Synchronicity is what happens when the psyche becomes aware of its own reflection in reality. The outer event carries an inner message, and only the one who experiences it can understand its language. Imagine the unconscious as an ocean. Your conscious mind is only a small island rising above the surface. Most of who you are, memory, instinct, emotion, archetype, lives below. But this ocean does not end with you. It connects with every other ocean. When you think, dream, or desire, waves ripple outward into that shared field, and sometimes those waves return not as thoughts but as events. You think of a person and they call. You dream of water and the next day it rains. These are not proofs of psychic power, they are mirrors of connectedness. The deeper you enter your own unconscious, the closer you come to the collective one, the shared reservoir of all human experience, what Jung called the collective unconscious. In this space, there is no distance, no separation, only patterns seeking realization. When your life aligns with a symbol that already lives in that field, the universe moves to complete the pattern, and we call that coincidence. But synchronicity cannot be forced. It appears when the ego softens, when you stop pushing, analyzing, demanding proof. It comes in the stillness after surrender, when the conscious mind finally listens instead of commands. Most people live so loudly that they drown out the whispers. Their lives are full of noise, constant distraction, constant explanation. But the field does not shout, it speaks in symbols, feelings, and timing. If you want to hear it, you must quiet down. Silence creates resonance. Attention acts as invitation. And when your inner life begins to mirror honesty, the outer world responds in kind. Every thought carries a frequency. When it is repeated with emotion, it imprints the field around you. That field, what mystics once called the aura, is not superstition. It's the energetic echo of your psychology. It influences and attracts what you are unconsciously aligned with. This is why Jung insisted on shadow work. If you do not confront the darkness within you, it will appear outside you as conflict, rejection, or loss. But when you integrate the shadow, when you make peace with what you once denied, the outer world begins to calm. Synchronicity increases, not as reward, but as reflection. You become coherent, whole, tuned. Synchronicity is life's way of saying you are on the path. It's the echo of alignment, a glimpse into the hidden architecture of meaning. When these moments occur, pause. Do not rush to explain or dismiss them. Feel the weight of connection, the reminder that consciousness is not isolated. You are not a separate fragment floating through chaos. You are part of an intelligent pattern, a living dialogue between the inner and the infinite. Jung once said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." But when the inner world awakens fully, the outer world begins to dream with you. That is synchronicity, the invisible field speaking the only language it knows, the language of symbols, rhythm, and timing. And if you learn to listen, you'll realize the universe has been speaking to you all along. Stay silent enough, and you'll hear it again. Every human carries two worlds inside them, one they show and one they hide. The face we show to others smiles, explains, and tries to belong. The other face waits in silence, holding every emotion we refuse to feel, every truth we were afraid to speak. Carl Jung called this hidden world the shadow. It is not evil, it is simply unlived life. Every time you repress anger, fear, envy, or desire, it doesn't disappear, it moves underground. It becomes part of the unconscious, shaping behavior from the dark. Jung wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." The shadow is the unseen author of our repeated mistakes, the secret reason behind our emotional reactions, the mirror of all we deny. But it is also the key to transformation. The path to light always passes through the dark. The one who refuses to face their shadow stays divided, trapped between the image they project and the truth they hide. The one who dares to descend finds power that was lost long ago. Because what we reject in ourselves becomes our enemy, and what we accept becomes our strength. The shadow is not to be destroyed, but understood. It holds energy, creativity, instinct, and authenticity. When you integrate it, you become whole. When you avoid it, it controls you. We live in a culture that rewards light and punishes depth. We celebrate happiness but hide grief. We promote confidence but deny insecurity. Yet without contrast, light means nothing. Wholeness is not perfection, it is inclusion. To be whole is to contain both heaven and hell within the same heart. The shadow speaks in symbols, in dreams, in slips of the tongue. It shows up in the people you dislike, in the emotions you judge, in the parts of others that trigger you most. What you reject in them is what you refuse to see in yourself. Projection is the shadow's favorite disguise. It lets us fight outside what we can't face inside. Jung said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to a better understanding of ourselves." So the work begins when blame turns inward, when judgment turns into curiosity. The light of awareness is the only force strong enough to enter the shadow without fear. Facing your shadow means entering the cave of your own resistance. It is not easy. It means sitting with discomfort, listening to the voice you silenced. It means feeling envy without shame, anger without guilt, fear without denial. These feelings are teachers. They are not there to break you, but to reveal you. The shadow hides treasures under its darkness, just as the night sky hides stars invisible by day. Those who walk this path return changed. They move differently, they speak with calm, they look into the eyes of others and see not judgment but recognition. Their aura gains depth, their silence gains meaning. You can feel it, an energy that no longer needs to prove itself. Integration gives birth to authenticity, and authenticity radiates power. People sense it because it cannot be faked. It is not performance but presence. The integrated person no longer divides the world into good and bad, pure and impure. They see everything as part of a larger harmony, an eternal dance of opposites. They understand that even darkness serves the light. To reject one half of existence is to live half a life, but to embrace both is to awaken. Jung called this process individuation, the lifelong task of becoming who you truly are, beyond masks, beyond imitation. It is not a destination, but a movement toward center, where the opposites meet. When you reach that center, you discover something timeless, the self, the deep core that was never wounded, never divided. From there, life stops being a battle and becomes a dialogue. The outer world no longer mirrors chaos but coherence. Synchronicities increase, creativity flows, and peace replaces the old war between what is and what should be. Wholeness does not mean light triumphs over dark. It means light learns to dance with it. And in that dance, the soul becomes luminous, not because it escaped shadow, but because it carried it with grace. The true light is not innocent. It is wise. It has seen darkness and chosen love anyway. This is the light that cannot be taken, the power that does not shout, the peace that follows self-knowledge. The one who has met their shadow walks softly, because they understand everyone fights their own unseen war. They no longer seek to dominate or escape, only to understand. In that understanding, they find freedom, and from that freedom, light.